Look at it, so very easy. My name is Laura, and today I am going to make a big 26-inch round corded pillow, a floor pillow, a puff that some kids can crawl up on, or if you have some pets, they might want to take it over. It has cording on it, nice big gussets, but I promise you it's going to be easy to make. So the floor pillow pattern is from QT Fabrics. And it's made with these wedge shapes, which turn into that nice big circle. And we have that large gusset with some piping. My husband is a big fisherman, so of course all the grandchildren love to go fishing with him. So I think this will be really fun for them. Now we're going to need some cording. So you can buy cording or we can make cording, and I'll show you how to make some. We're going to need some strong thread, and we could use covered buttons, but I will be using these nice big old coat buttons. I think they'll go really good with that theme. We're also going to need some fill to fill up that pillow and some fleece. Now this fleece is going to go inside the pillow. It's going to help with structure, and it's going to help keep everything strong. So you can really use any leftover fleece that you have, and scrappy fleece if you want. So when we go through this pattern, last few pages give us some pie shapes. Now we're going to take those pie shapes and we're going to be able to duplicate them and glue them together so we end up with this nice big wedge. And that wedge is what's going to make the top of this pillow. Now when we do cut these wedges, it's important that we keep the center going along the straight grain of the fabric. It could go on the width or it can go on the length. Once we have this shape done, we're going to be able to cut out 6 of these pieces. So I have done 2 of each of the fabrics. Then we need to sew them together. So I would recommend sewing 3 together first. So we have that half circle, and make 2 units like this. And then when you go to sew them together, you're going to be able to do 1 long line of stitching. And that means you're going to be able to match up this corner. So we have 1 big circle done. And this is going to be the top of the pillow. They do have us do another piece for the bottom. And they're having us to make a full circle. Well, I'm going to make the other half the same, but they do have directions here where you can make that full circle. I just like the look of all of those different wedges. So I'm going to need 2 pieces that look like this. Now we are going to take some fleece. And the fleece is going to go underneath. So I'm going to lay out my fleece, and I'm going to put my big circle on top. I'm going to smooth those layers together. What I want to do is top stitch on each side of these seams. So I'm going to have 2 rows of stitching coming down. This is a solid piece of fabric. It has a little bit of stretch to it, and it has some thickness, so it's going to add the padding and give it some strength. So I'm going to do that stitching first, and then I can trim everything down after. When that top stitching has been done, do 1 more row of stitching all the way around the outside. Now you're going to be able to trim that out. So this is going to be the pillow top. Now you can make the bottom in 1 full piece, but I am just going to duplicate this. But what I need are the 2 finished circles to be the same size. Now you can purchase a cording or we can make it on our own. In order to make that covered cording, we do need to have a long strip of fabric, and it's going to be cut on the bias. In order for this to fit in the camera, I'm going to show you how to do this with a small 10-inch square of fabric. But this will work with any size square. So just to show you, I'm going to draw some lines just for the straight of grain. When we're cutting a bias seam or bias binding, we need to cut it on a 45 degree. Now that's fine if you have a small piece, but if you have a large piece, like a 45-inch piece, you need to fold it. So what we're going to do is fold it in half twice on the diagonal. So the one point is going to go together, and then these points will go together. So you can see where those straight of grains are going to be. Now you're going to cut this so that that one fold is on your left-hand side. The two folds are facing you. So now you can see where those lines are on a diagonal. From there, we're going to cut the pieces that we want. Now you can cut it from the fold, going this way or this way. First thing I like to do is get off a little bit on that corner. And then I'm going to use the edge and use the edge of a ruler so you stay straight. Then just cut the width that you want. And I'm just going to keep cutting it. I'm cutting it backwards, but this would be facing you. This is what you would be looking at. Now when I open up these pieces, you're going to see that the lines are on the diagonal, which means this is now a bias cut. So I'll be able to match those and stitch that 1/4 inch and flip. And that is what these directions here are explaining. So there are my long strips of bias binding sewn together. From there, we're going to get some cording, and that cording is going to fit inside. You're going to be able to fold that over and put your zipper foot on and stitch right there along that edge. And when that's done, you're going to have this lovely long cord. For the gussets, we need 3 pieces of fabric. Cut the width of the fabric at 5 inches. We're going to sew those together and get a long strip at 82.5 inches and then sew them together. So you're supposed to make a loop, and this is the part where I like to change it. I'm going to sew these 3 pieces together, but I'm not making a loop. I'm just going to make one long strip. Now the directions have us take that loop and put that cording on this piece. I'm going to change it, and I'm going to put the cording on top of the circles. This is a bias, so it is going to stretch as you stitch. We are going to use a zipper foot, and we're going to have the needle going towards the left. We want that zipper foot to run along that edge. Now there are many different ways to stop and start this. A very simple way is to cover that seam. So I just take a piece of fabric and I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to place it right at the beginning where I'm going to stitch. So as I stitch around, this is going to cover what's inside. So I have just half of it showing. So just take your time, and you can move this a little bit out of your way and stitch. I'm stitching a couple inches, moving and smoothing. So I now have come to the beginning. I like to just trim that a little bit and then just undo some of those fibers so they're a little bit flatter and smooth them down. I do want them to come inside so that they're not poking out of that little fabric piece. I'm going to continue stitching right to this point and then come off on a bit of an angle. Once I hit that seam, I'm just going to stitch off. I can trim that now. I'm going to fold that over and restitch. So that gives us a nice finish on both sides. Because this is a bias, you can see where it has stretched around that edge. You can always go in and give it some snips. We need to do this to both of those big circles. And before we put on that gusset, we're going to make a handle. Now they say 3 inches, but I have just taken a piece of fabric and I'm going to fold it in half, stitch along the one side, turn it right side out. So I have a long tube, and do 2 rows of top stitch right down the sides. And then I'm going to sew this piece at about a 20 to 25 inch mark. And I can trim off that extra. So this becomes a handle. We're going to take that one end that is closest to this handle, fold it back, and give that a press. And you can have a nice big seam allowance, that's fine. Now we're going to sew it onto one edge of the pillow. So I want that edge to line up with one of the wedges. Now we're going to stitch this on all the way until we get to this point. When we come to this edge, we're just going to stitch until we cover this little area. So you can see how I overlapped that fold. Snip that layer so it lays flat. We now are going to be able to stitch on the next side, but I would recommend that you put a mark here on the gusset where this seam would line up. So put a pencil line or something to mark it. Now I can pin this on and match up the seams with the marks that I put. And this is the one time that I will pin it. So that whole edge is pinned down. Now if you need to, you can always stretch that fabric at the top a little bit or stretch the back a little bit just to make those lines match up. Now we are going to need to stitch all the way around this, just like we did this edge, but we're going to need to leave an opening so we can put the fiber in there. And we're going to need a fairly good size opening, almost a complete wedge. I'm going to slowly stitch all the way around. And yes, I am going to snip, but I will not be snipping in this area that I need to fill. Now before I take out those pins, I'm going to take a pencil and draw a little line to where I would have been stitching. Okay, take the pins out and turn it right side out. Now if you're able to put this under your machine, you can top stitch this opening closed. Now before we fill this, I would recommend to do a row of stitching just on that one single piece where you drew that line. That stitching is going to make that fabric want to go in, and it's going to give you that mark as to where you need to turn. Now have some fun and stuff that nice and full. And that row of stitching has already made that fabric go inside. So you can see that it's already tucking itself inside. Now I'm going to use a double strand of thread or a strong thread and just stitch those layers together. Once that side is closed, we're going to be able to put in that button. Now the button is an optional thing. If you have children or pets, you might not want to put a button at all in. Just leave it this nice puffy way. If you want a button, you really do need to have 2 buttons, one on each side. And we need really strong thread and a very long needle for this, or you need to really push that down. I would recommend a very, very strong thread, something for upholstery or even buttons. And then I'm going to put that button in so it's free moving, and then bring my thread up to that knot so I have that button secured in, and give it a good pull to make sure it's going to stay. I'm going to go through that center. You want to try not to lose that needle until you get to the next side. So sometimes a little helping hand, if you can have someone hold this and push it for you, is great. And pull that needle out. Put that button in. And now that that button's in, I want to put that needle back to the other side. And get that needle to come back up to the center. And then just work those 2 buttons so the back one and the top one are good and tight. Push the button down, make a loop with your finger, go around the button and go back through that loop with the needle. I'm still holding that hole, and I'm going to push that button down and then pull. So I have done a knot now. And I'll do it again. So I have the needle with the thread. I'm going to pull so I have a loop. Go around the button. Go through that loop and pull. So we have the button on the one side and the button on the other side. And the pillow is now done. The free pattern is from QT Fabrics, and the fabric, this fun fishing fabric, is also from QT Fabrics. But think of all the possibilities we could do with this big puffy pillow. I'll put some links in the description, and as always, thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I have a newsletter. It's all free under Sew Very Easy. And be sure to make every day a Sewtacular day. Bye for now.